So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us once again at one of the vibrant digital platforms for exhibitions, which is SGI Dubai 2021 virtual. And we've had a fantastic first day and we are halfway there. And on the second day, there has been a lot of interaction, engagement, and live webinars, videos. I think we have the works right now. And we would like to continue this journey with another fantastic presentation by Shihab Zubair, who's the regional sales manager at Epson, and he'll stress on the quality aspect of printing and signage businesses. Now, if you have any questions for Shihab, please do feel free to put that down in the Q&A section of this window, and Shihab will be more than happy to answer those queries. So I would like to welcome Shihab onto the floor, and it's all yours, Shihab, now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prem. And good afternoon, everybody. And thank you very much for joining us for this virtual event. We've been in SGI for a very long time as an Epson, and we are very happy always to meet you and to show you always our new solution, new innovation, how we can help you in the market and in any situation, including, of course, the pandemic that we went through. So I will go directly to the subject, and today I'm going to present two new solutions. I think we will never find a better opportunity than SGI to launch two of our brand new product and solution in Epson range. So I will have two presentations, including some of the videos, and of course, as Prem mentioned, if you have any question answer, you can put it. And we'll answer it on the Q&A, of course, in the Q&A section, and then we can answer it later at the end of the presentation. So thank you very much. I will start with the Sure Color R series. The contents quickly, we'll go quickly about the Epson and innovation. It is very important part, and therefore I prefer to start with to tell you what Epson doing usually and how we go through the innovation cycle. And developing the product in the market. So we're not launching a product just for having another range or another product for no reason. Always there is a reason behind it. This we're going to cover it. And then I'll go quickly about the product introduction, including a video about the product, and then a product overview and the core technologies, which is a very important element in Epson. And we'll mention some of the information. I will try not to be very technical, but just to give an idea about the core technologies used in that product. And of course, we'll end up with the specifications and the performance, some of the comparisons. So if you need, of course, any further information, we can always discuss about it. Commercial print is expanding actually, and it's offering a lot of application through innovations. Digital printing technology has been enabled the new business opportunities. For the commercial print market to deal with the change required, and therefore we always require a lot of innovation happening. So whether it's reducing the turnaround time, streamlining the pre-process processor, accurately predicting the colors and providing on-demand business model, technology innovation has been really the key driver for this business, I would say. And for Epson, innovation is really a fundamental part and part of our corporate vision. We really focus on innovation. We spend a huge amount of money on research and development every day. It's around 1.5 million every day that spend on research and development. So it's a huge money, and it's the foundation of our innovation. I will just take you quickly through the approach of our innovation, how to innovate. And to be honest, if you think about it, and if you look down, and the original core of the technology, we start from down to up, and we start with the voice of the customers. So maybe some of your questions that you're going to put it today, or the discussion that we have every year in our shows and exhibition around the world, not only the Middle East, it's a key element for us for doing any innovation. So your voice is really important for us. Your requirement and the market requirement is very important. So this is where we start, and then we move to the stage of the planning the product, how are we going to do it, go through the design of the product. And of course, the manufacturing. And the good point about Epson that we are a company that we do everything under one roof, that we manufacture everything in Epson, including even the robots that putting the parts together to have the final product. And of course, we move after that to the sales and support and introducing the product to you. And this is, of course, will reflect the customer requirement because we started already from the customer requirement. Quick, history. We have a lot of product in our innovation history, but I will start very quickly since we are an SGI. Signage, graphic. So it's very important to highlight the history of our print innovation, especially on the graphic part and the qualities. We have a lot of product to highlight, but I just picked like 3 or 4 of them because these are really changed the graphic, I would say, industry in the past. And I'm sure these new product that you're going to see today will do that also for the future. So we introduce our product, and maybe many of the people they're gonna see this webinar, or they joined us already now. They know them, and some of them still working, by the way, in the market. So we have the Stylus Pro, or the color proofer, we call it 5000, and it is the A3 digital proofer, and it is the first CMYK halftone or true color workflow, I would say. Which is very important in the proofing cycle or profiling cycle. And we introduced also the pigment ink at that time to make it really stable, the colors, very fast to measure the color as part of the proofing, I would say. And also it's very very long lasting colors. And during that time, actually, we already created across all the companies that with a cooperation with all our vendors available in the market. And this product has helped them a lot to move it. And then we have another innovation step, I would say, in our history, is the launching of the Stylus Pro 7600 and 9600, which is an A0 size, and having all the features that we spoke about on the 5000, which is the high quality and the proofing, and copy it on a bigger size, on A0 size. So it's become a product, I would say, all-in-one that's covering the photos, covering the profiling and proofing system, the fine art, which is started growing and became a fashion at that time. After that, we moved to a Stylus Pro 10000 that we had really a very fast machine. Again, having all the factors. At the same time, it's very high productivity as well, with a very big capacity of ink and covering, again, all the market that we require for it. In 2003, we launched a product called 4000, the Stylus Pro 4000. And to be honest, we have, last month, I think, or the month before, I got even a request, me personally, about a new sales of the Pro 4000. It's very well done. It's flagship, I would say. It's a very important product and benchmark. Actually, it's a new benchmark on the price, performance, reliability, flexibility. Can use anything. We saw many modified machines in the market even using the same platform or the Stylus Pro 4000, and used for all the application that we mentioned about it. And of course, to be honest, honorable mention the Stylus Pro 1180, the first 64-inch to cover the fine art. The WT is the first pigment white ink machine. And Sure Color, of course, Signage S8610 that we have it in the market, which is having an eco-solvent, very high quality, 9 colors of eco-solvent to cover a very wide color of gamut and a lot of application as well. So this is just quick about our history of innovation. And today we're introducing the new products. I'm very excited, and I'm sure you will be as well. It's our I would say new flagship will be in the signage product, and to complete our range. So I will not say it's a new signage to cancel all the others. It is to complete our signage range and the success that we have in the signage in the previous years. And all our customers, they already use Epson. They know what I'm talking about when it's coming to quality, reliability, accuracy, and everything. So we are launching today 2 products, which is the R5010 and the R5010L. And the L and the normal one is almost the same. The only difference is with a large capacity of ink for more production, and people they have require more production with hot swap and many features. And why we call it the R series, because it's using the resin ink. So it's a new printer range for signage and display. I would say it's very important to improve the performance and to improve also the high value print application that sometimes we miss it on the other technologies of ink like the eco solvent. But of course, we don't forget to keep all our key success in the other product, like using our micro piezo TFP head, of course, using the latest technologies when it's coming to the color, lookup tables, different droplet size, which I'm gonna cover it, of course, in a few minutes. And as a result, actually, it's the first Epson first resin ink machine, Ultra Chrome RS ink, we call it. And it's featuring the latest resin ink, which is developed by Epson, by the way, from scratch, from ground. And they can now, the users, all the users of our, especially our signage, or the new user, they're planning to buy a new signage solution, they can really enjoy a wider substrate support. For example, like a special type of vinyl or banners and text size, canvases, wallpapers, films. So it's a very wide range. And as I mentioned before, just expanding the range that we have now on the signage. So to cut it very short, this product, before we see a video about this product to review with the video, it's the R5010. It's delivers a flexibility, speed, and precision as usual from Epson products. So these are the two products. Each one is consists of 8 drawers, of course. Including the basic color, the CMYK, light cyan, light magenta, and the optimizers. And if you look to the product on the right side, it's exactly the same, but with a hot swap and double the quantity. So you'll have 3 liters of each color, but exactly the same color setup. This very quick tour about the product before I give you, let's say, a video tour. And very important virtually. So instead of demonstrating the product in real life, I'm going to show a video which is demonstrating the product, and you can see the product and feel it more. But to have very quick look and tour about the product, it's a new design. If you notice, it's different than our signage, different color of body. It's having a wider window on the top. So as I mentioned, it's maybe a very small thing, but we are really listening to our customer. And if we visit any of our signage customers, they're using our product. Usually they leave the door open, or they need a bigger space to see the print while printing to make sure everything is fine before they leave the machine. We included also an LED light inside. Very small details, very important for our customer. We added the signal lamp, and this is giving like an industrial feel, I would say, because this signal lamp will give you a notification, always an indication. I'm going to explain what this notification. We added a touch screen for the first time on our signage range, again, to make it easier to use. Anybody can use a machine without any requirement. And of course, using our ink, very big 2 waste ink bottles with a sensor for the optimizers and for the ink. Using our, of course, I would say the very famous take-up reel and feeding system in our signage machine, our textile machine as well, die sublimation. So use the same here with even improvement on the R series. I'll leave you on the next couple of minutes with these videos before we continue about diving inside the machine. Thanks a lot. Actually, I like this video. Actually, it's trying to summarize everything about the printer and show you how nice product offering wider application, wider types of medias that maybe you missed some of them in our previous range that we have on the signage. So this is to complete our range. I'm gonna, to be honest, hopefully I'll not take a long time about that, but I'm gonna dive into some of the key features that maybe you saw it in the video. To start with, of course, with the resin technology and why we added the resin technology. The resin, the RS ink, first of all, is developed by Epson, as I mentioned before, is origin core technology. Um, the reason why we have the resin ink now solution as part of our signage is to increase the substrate compatibility, of course, and at the same time, it's very high durable and scratch resistance. Adding to that, the quick dry, so you can immediately for some application just print it with the new technology of the heating that I'm going to mention about. You can immediately start doing the application without even any lamination or any additional work required on the machine. Our print head, always important. And when we say image quality, we have always to show our print head. And this is our new precision core print head that we're using in the R series. Having a lot of technologies like the precision dot technology, including the multi-layer halftone, which is really important. I'm going to show you quickly about the quality, how it makes a big difference. Long life printhead. So this is not a consumables again. Our printhead is always a very long life printhead. It's part of a spare part. It's not a consumable. So you have always the same quality over the print, starting from print number 1 till the end of the life of the machine. High level of color consistency, of course, because of the ink that we create and the printhead technology that we use. The optimizer printing method. And EMX profile support that we have like a portal and online that you can always have upload the profiles and test it, and you can use it for other application, for other media. Other key feature is reliability of the machine. It is anti-dust design. We created the design very carefully because we know the environment of the signage will be different from customer to customer. We added a lot of also small details about like the headguard, the ultrasonic detector, the nozzle verification technology, which is can detect if there is any nozzle block or not without even firing an ink or wasting the ink. And of course, I will always mention the high accuracy substrate and feeding and auto-take-up reel that we have, which is a key feature in our product. And also one of the point that we is the usability features. Is very easy to use, as I mentioned, with adding a lot of features, including something brand new in this machine, which is a user pressable print head without any tools or any high level of experience or engineering background you require. It's having a touch screen for easy to use, LED lamp for more visibilities, bulk ink solutions. So for people, they need to print a lot without replacing the ink from time to time, and having a hot swap also on the L series only, not the normal one. An overview about the applications and why we said a wider application. And I like this table because this table is going to show you that the R series or the R series that we have is to complete our signage range. So some of the application, if you notice, like the S series is still the best to do, like the outdoor and PVC panels, for example, like the window graphics, light boxes, vehicles, like all these are still the signage and eco-solvent is proven in the market and even technically in the history of the signage. It's still the best. But some of the application like the wall covering, the soft signage, the POS or the indoor application, the floor covering, exhibition graphics, the R series will be a perfect for that. So therefore I like this table because this will make your decision easier to understand why shall we go for the R series if you have an S series, for example, or you have an eco-solvent solution. So this is to summarize it as a product. So it's an image quality, very wide applications, very easy to use, and usability is important, and the reliability of the machine as any other Epson, but also we add more feature to make it more reliable as a machine. On top of that, of course, using the resin ink or resin printing technology for the first time in Epson. I'll speak about the resin ink a little bit more. Again, it's not to go in technical a lot, but it's to understand why we have resin and the importance of the resin. So very important to have actually an ink which can cover another properties for the ink, which is missing in the other ink technology. So using the resin is really boosting the ink properties that increase the hardness, for example, increasing the glossy, increasing the flexibility and adhesion. This makes the ink type ideal for a variety of print substrate. And this is the main reason why we have it. And if you have, of course, any questions or more details, we can discuss further and further about the resin itself, how we made it, what's chemically what it is, and the history of it. But this RS ink is very unique for Epson, and this chemistry is unique to Epson. And we created from scratch, as I mentioned before, and has been developed in a very high reliable, actually stable, and maximize the benefit of the printing using the resin. Why we have it, we mentioned it before, is it's a complementary, as I mentioned. Many applications they did, and for example, HP, they have an original comment also because they have their resin ink machine, and they say it's having many of the benefit, which is complement the solvent ink. So we cannot ignore the solvent ink. Still, it's very important, the ink solvent, and this is just to complement the solutions. How it's working, and the reason why I mention how it's working, not to go technical, but just to show you why we have some of the features in the machine, like for example, 3-stage of heating. To achieve a really best result working with the resin ink, we found as an Epson, as a unique also from Epson in this machine, it's very important to heat the substrate prior to receiving the ink. So make the media ready, I would say, before you do it. And make it very important when you drop the ink over it that the media is already ready to receive it. And we noticed that, and our engineer noticed that it's really important, significant improvement on the color consistency and substrate handling when heating the substrate before delivering or dropping the ink over the media. And then in this point, if the media is ready, you can precisely jet or the ink on the surface of substrate. And then the next step, actually, during the printing, also very important, the substrate continue to be heated by the printer platen. So we have the second heater, which is I'm going to show you as a summary at the end, which is also making the ink observed by the media and by the substrate. So to continue through the print, while printing, the media is still on the same temperature or ready. After the heater when it's finished. So after that, when it go the last heater, so it will be evaporating the base liquid and leave the fully cured ink surface. This is some of the information about light fastness, because maybe people, they will always highlight and they ask a question like, this machine will have 3 years life fastness, but of course everybody knows, and therefore we have a couple of comments here. These are related to many conditions, of course, the weather, and therefore we divide it into zones. So of course the best is to test it, and we do a test through the media manufacturer as well, because substrate is a very important element in that. But technically it's a 3 years life fastness. And speaking about the image quality, so we adopt like 3 core technologies, which is the halftone, the lookup table, the LUT, and the microwave. And these are all adopted from the same. Therefore, I went through the history first, because this is, we're always adopting in a signage machine the same quality of level of our indoor or proofing machines to achieve the maximum quality possible. And this is even comparing with our previous technology and the new technology, which is the multi-layer halftone. And you can see with the errors and the issue that you will have. But using the new multi-layer halftone, it's really minimizing the impact of the image quality of dot replacement errors if there is any issues, or if there is any missing dots or nozzles. And the printing, this is our print head. Again, for people that were asking like about the droplet size, it's 4.9 picoliter multi-size droplet technology. So again, it's using the same multi-size droplet technology that we are using in our S series or other product range that we have. And it's because our head, again, as I mentioned, it is a very long life head. and it's not using any thermal like other technologies of head, which is the thermal print head. The thermal print head will degrade due to the heating elements and within the head construction itself or the construct. The piezo head is not using any heat, and therefore we always have the same color consistency, and the drop of the ink will always be the same during the life of the machine. These are three the heaters that we said, like heater number one, heater number two. So we have a preheating to prepare the media, a platen heater while you're printing, and then the post-cure heater to get it. And in addition to that, we have the near the number three heater, we have the guided airflow, which will help you to dry and remove all the air on it. We have different type of printing as well for the either you print the optimizers with the color or the optimizer and the color separately. So of course, printing separately the color and the optimizer will slow a little bit the speed, not really a big difference, but it will slow a little bit. But the advantage here, because separating the print reduce the grayness, reduce the unevenness, and even the bleeding between the color and the optimizers. Some of the features that we already mentioned about the reliability, like the ultrasonic detector, will detect if there is any issue in the media, any rubbing detection on the media, because the media always having an issues. Even the nozzle detection is because we are using micro piezo, so we can detect if there is an ink coming out from the nozzle or not, and according to that we start the cleaning. So this will help you also for the maintenance. The airflow also in the media cleaner is very important. We clean 90% of the dust or fluff over the substrate that we use, and we know we are not using all same substrate, different quality, different noise on it. Adding a lot of like flushing, cleaning, wiper unit to clean the head as one shot. So we are always adding more features to the machine to make it, I would say, headache-free or very reliable machine working all the time without any issues, without headache to the customers, which the end user. And to add on top of that is the usability of replacing the ink print head without using any tools. Very simple, but of course this is required special requirement. So if there is any question about that required, we can discuss it, because a special training will be required to the user. Then he can do the replacement of the ink without calling our technical people. Again, for fast. And there is also a barcode, a QR code that you can scan it. We'll show you a video step by step how to do that. Adding a lot of also small details about the colors, the light, LED light about each the color, so you can understand which color is in which stage. Is it like under charging, or it is mixing, running low, or it is in a good condition. How the ink will look like on this machine. So it's all like on a pouch or bags. And this is 1.5 liter coming. This is reduced around 80% of compared to the cartridge that we use in some of our other machines and some other manufacturer they use, and reduce also the space by 90% before printing, and also the wastage. These are the wastage tanks, which is having near future sensor as well, now near full if there is the sensor already full, and some of the colors. This is the design we spoke about it, how the touch screen will look like. So a lot of features, and even the warning light is very important. We give you always an indication if the machine in the first condition or having any error or any issues on that. So these are the wide media application, I would say. It's for backlit, it's for application. So again, we're trying to make the choice easier for you, where you need to go with the R series, where you need to go with the continue with the S series, which is proven the success in our market. We have many environmental and health certifications, of course. If you require any question or any more or any specific certificate, you can contact us as well to help you with this. Like any other machine that we do, we have also our own software, but at the same time, we are always part engagement with all the service providers like rep companies like Caldera, Ergosoft, Onyx, and all the famous name in the market that we did. Here we reach the end of this presentation, just about the specifications of the product and the comparison, which is, of course, you can find it online in our website. And if you require any further information, you can get it. So thank you very much. I think hopefully I covered as much as I can on the R series. But if you have any other question or information, we can do. Now I'm going to move to the next presentation and video and another very interesting product that we have, which is the V7000. So the second part of our introduction today is a V7000. It is an introduction for our first UV printers in the market from Epson. So I'm very excited, and I'm sure you are too as well. We'll go through about product overview and the specification again and performance, exactly what we did on the R series. So this is the new product, how it will look like. This product will be available starting from next April. So here it's the first time to show the product to the public in SGI. It is a very unique machine using all our high quality and technologies and core technology that we always have in Epson and translated to our first UV flatbed machines. We will complete the lineup with the V7000 because it's the first flatbed, and I just introduced to you the first resin machine, which is the R5010, R5010L, and of course with our range of Signage eco-solvent machines that we have a wide range that I think most people, they know about it now and about the success. The V7000 will deliver really high quality, very fast and reliable result on the variety of different medias. And this is the idea of having a UV machine and flatbed because of the, again, a wider range and application of medias on printing on any surface, I would say. And designed to meet the signage business that focus on really fast throughput and lower total cost of ownership. And this is very important point actually, because the feature that I'm going to take you through and the video that you're going to watch about the product, it is really highlighting how you can save money with this product. And maybe from the first moment you will notice from some of these features how you're going to save your time and money. It's very robust machine, very affordable also, using the same micro piezo print head, and it's really developed for the new 10 original inks, including the gray, the red color, so for a wider color gamut and vibrant, including the white and the varnish as well, and to ensure really accurate colors reproduction for the sport and for the corporate colors that is required, in addition to the wider range and gradation that's required in others. This machine having a 4 zones of vacuum system, so you can operate only the part that you need to work with, depending on the media size and depending on the job that you have. And this machine will come also with our own software, which is the Epson Edge Print, the RIP software. We use it in all our range of product now, and including this product. So this is like a quick tour again before we move forward to the video, which is the interesting part because we're gonna see the machine how it looks, how it works. So it's having our new print head, ultra chrome UV ink, of course, and having a lot of sensors and technologies around it, like the proximity sensors, a lot of automatic measurement of the media thickness. So this will be also done automatically. The printhead will move over the media, will measure the height and calculate the perfect plotting gap required to achieve the maximum quality. The size of the machine is 2.5 by 1.25 meters. So it is the maximum print. We have also jam detection sensor. So in case, of course, you're going to print on different type of materials. This jam sensor is very important to protect the printhead. And also, again, we have this, we call it the signal light, which is giving the industrial feel. And it's important to warn you if there is any issues with the machine. So image quality, we're using the printhead, again, using the same high quality printhead that we have, and the ultra chrome UV ink, 10 colors, so including the cyan, magenta, yellow, black, the gray, which is the light black, the light cyan, light magenta, the red, white, and the varnish. So the light cyan, light magenta, of course, for the smooth tones and the graduation, as I mentioned. The red is mainly for the vividness and the larger color gamut. The white ink is it's for transparency and dark media. Either use it as a base or use it as a print embellishment. The varnish ink provide really a visual enhancement across the whole image, or you can use only a specific image to be more creative on creating the varnish on specific areas. I'll leave you with a video of the product before we also highlight some of the important points, like what we did on the R series. So this is the V7000. It's an amazing product, as I mentioned before. Maybe the UV is available, of course, many of the flat bed and many of the nice product available in the market. But again, as we did in the R series, we're adding a lot of details. It's maybe small details, but make a big difference in the market as a quality, as usability and reliability of the machine. So again, I will just quickly highlight some of the features, which is maybe you saw it in the video. I will just highlight it. So we have 3.5 picoliter ink droplet, and this is a new printhead that we are using, which is having a 1 inch of 180 dpi each, having 8 channels. for about 8 nozzle lines or 8 channels on the printhead, on single printhead. Having the whole, also the UV ink actually. And UV ink is consists of 4, I would say, ingredients when created, which is the monomers, oligomers, and the photo initiators and the pigment. So it's very important actually of these four ingredients, because each one is adding aspects and adding the beauty of the UV and make the UV very unique when it's coming. So this is when you start with the first ingredient. This will provide the ink properties like the softness, the flexibilities, and then oligomers is adding more, I would say, adhesive properties to the ink. The photo initiator, this is actually the main part actually, because when you apply the UV light, it will react actually and to create linking all the particles and the ingredients together, and the pigment, of course, to add a color to it, to provide the color to the ink. So the UV, the reason why we have a UV machine again here, and why there is a UV ink and UV flatbed machines in the market, because of the ink, I would say, with the properties of the ink and the characteristics of this ink. For example, like elasticity and the stretchability, the hardness, softness, the adhesive, the scratch resistance, the weather resistance. So there is a lot of features on the ink. And what we did here actually as an Epson, we took our machine into printout, of course, into many tests. So I will not go through all of them and how we did the tests, but of course this information is available. If anybody has a question or you want to continue after this session, of course we can answer him in details. But we did a lot of them. I picked some of them, like for example about the stretchability and how stretchable it is. So of course when you have the varnish, the varnish ink is less stretchable than the normal ink that we have on the color ink. So with the color is 265% the stretchability of the color and the white ink. It will come down to 165% of the varnish ink. And same, we did the test also for the bending resistance, for example. We did also for the punching taste, and of course the scratch, either with a normal rubbing test or rubbing with a wet. And as you can see, there's a lot of details. Again, I don't want to go through all of them, but we did the test, and we have tested each and every color and the reaction to the rubbing or to the scratching or to the bending or the punching. And we came out with the tables to give you the idea. And of course, each and every of these, for example, the varnish coating is improved the scratch resistance, but the varnish at the same time is decreased the stretchability. So depending on the media that you are using, depending on what you want to do with the media after you print, you have to pick the right maybe combination of what you're going to do with the machine. And we wanted to have this information accessible to everybody and very honest and clear, because it's very important for them to decide and how they can get it. So even with a wet, for example, rubbing test, we have amazing result actually on most of the colors, and all of them, and, even if you print with a rotor. And we did the test with around 20 rubbings. So we did with 20 times to test it. And even we did the test with alcohol, of course, with alcohol resistance, not only with the normal water or wet. And of course, the resistance will be less, 100%, of course. But again, if you have a varnish, for example, if a varnish coating would improve that splash resistance in all factors, even with alcohol or with wet water. Under productivity, we have really a very high print speed, the size of 2.5 multi-layer zones, the layout pen. So again, there's a lot of features, and this is like a very quick. Again, I think people, they need to look at it more in details. Therefore, I said if you have any more clarification, you can contact us, any of the team in the Middle East or our partners. But this is just give an idea. Like if you print with one layer, only the color, the maximum speed of the machine is 43.1 square meters per hour. If you have two layer, which is a color with white, then it will come down to 41.5 square meters per hour. And of course, the lowest speed will be on the 360 by 720 DPI is 39.4 square meter per hour, which is including the white color and the varnish as well. So just to give you an idea, this is how the layout of the head, and it's very important. And we made the layout in a very special way, and therefore you see the difference on the speed is not really huge when you add one layer or two layers or three. because the layout is very important, where to keep the white, where to keep the varnish, and how you lay out the colors also. Printheads. So we have printhead for the color, which is 2-inch each, printhead for the white, and a different printhead for the varnish. And this will give it a lot of flexibility and quality. Again, you saw it in the video, it's a maximum height of 8 centimeter or 80 millimeters thickness, and the machine having a thickness detection already, 4 different zones where you can select it and deactivate it by the volume, by the vacuum or with the switches. Having, of course, the accurate setting for the media with a pens that you can adjust it at, on the corners of the printable area, which is 2.5. These are many of the sensors, which is help us on the usabilities. It's really, really important, like the jam detection sensor, the automatic measurement of the media thickness. And this is very important because, you know, especially people, they use already the UV machine, or they understand about flatbed and the UV printer. The plating gap is very important to get the quality and the right quality. And then you have the ionizers, which is the static electric, provide really stable ink ejection environment to remove any statics from the paper or the media that you can print over it or the surface. And we have the white ink circulation system. And to be honest, we have this technology in some of our textile or dye sublimation white ink, or the textile machine with white ink, because our circulation system, again, proving the success that you always mix the white ink and reduce the total cost of ownership of the cleaning or draining the cartridge. This is the sensor. You set the measurement, of course, in your computer or in the controller software, and then you have the machine. And the machine, again, will the sensor will measure the thickness, so it will always optimize the best plating gap available for a better quality. We have the jam sensor, which is very important. Again, it will reduce the downtime of the machine, if it will keep the head lifetime longer and longer. And this is the ionizers, of course, so to produce a positive and negative charges. So you remove any statics from the substrate surface. And this is how the circulation system that works. So the normal system, if we don't have the circulation system, the white sandimation will be of the white ink on the pipe, but having the circulation will prevent that and will always, again, reduce the total cost of ownership. So if you notice how many times I mentioned the reduce of total cost of ownership, so all these features and option that we have in the machine is reducing the total cost of ownership, because it's preventing any damage on the machine, it's reducing the downtime, and make the using of the machines much easier. So it's really important. The proximity sensor, for example, is even for your safety and for the labor safety that we are working on the machine. So it will always measure the distance and it will prevent any accident impact between the operator and the moving carriage, because of course the carriage is quite big and heavy and very dangerous. So we have all these sensors, and the beauty about all these sensors, like the jam detection, the media thickness, the proximity sensors, all of them, in case of there is anything happen and the machine is stopped for any reason of them, for example, there is an operator between the carriage and the machine is stopped, the machine will continue printing from this point. So it will not repeat the job from the beginning, it will continue printing from where it stopped. So it will stop immediately and then resume printing from the same point. And this is also very important. So you will not waste your media and your ink, you will continue printing without losing anything. These are some information about the lights. So of course the red is always the emergency, and this will give you this benefit if you have a big environment like big printing press and you have many machines. So these signal lights will help you always to understand the state of the machine. If it is in green, flashing or on, that means the machine is in good condition. It's printing, it's receiving the data and it's printing. If it is yellow, that means that some of the sensors are working and the ink is close to finish, for example. So we'll give you a warning always. Like any other machine, like what is in the R series, we always have a certificate ready for you and all the information ready for you. Here we reach the end of our presentation with the V. I always end it with the end of the specifications. So we have this available, of course, online in our website. And if you any further information required from your side, of course, I'll be available to answer it. Thank you very much. Now I'm ready to receive your questions, and if you have any questions or answers.
Shihab, thank you for such a lovely and detailed presentation. It was really fabulous, and I
Thank you
think
very much.
Epson has used this time of the last 9 months to come up with something really unique and really wonderful. And it was really amazing. Even the videos were so good that you could get the actual feel of what the product was all about and the performance of the product. So it was wonderful. I have a question here from Mr. Khan Nasri, who is actually writing to us from Kabul, Afghanistan. And he is asking about the kind of products that Epson has. They've been using Epson products for a long time. So the question is whether you manufacture heavy duty machines in the Epson family. And so if you could just elaborate on that, and if the machines are able to print on high GSM papers, the thickness, and because in the video I did see that it actually measures it automatically. So if you could
Exactly.
just respond to Khan, if you have heavy duty machines.
Of course, I mean, as I mentioned, actually, most of our products are moving into a industrial level, I would say, and you notice that from the features that we have in the machine. So as he mentioned in the question, actually, he's using Epson for many years, so you can understand what I'm talking about, that we are really adding more and more features. And as I mentioned at the beginning, these are maybe a product available as a technology in the market, but when we launch it as an Epson, we add a lot of factors to it to make it more production, more heavy duty, less access time. I mean, if you notice, even in our R series, so I'm telling Mr. Khan, like me, Khan, that if he uses the R series, for example, he has an option of replacing the printhead himself, which was not available in any of our machines before. In Epson family, when saying is Signage or depth animation or proofing or technical, any of our product. Usually, if you have any issue with the printhead, because it's a part of our spare part, it's not the consumables, you need to go back to our technical team. You want to go to the engineer to do the replacement and everything. We give him an option now to do that himself. Regarding the size, actually, our UV machine, it will be, I think, the biggest size available now in the Epson range. So it is, I don't know if you asked a question before or after, because our UV machine, it is high productivity, I would say industrial feel and touch, and it's doing a very big task. And also a very good speed, which is around 43 square meters per month, printing on a very thick media, which is 80 millimeters, which is 8 centimeter. So if you ask about the thickness or heavy ground media, so if you talk about this medias, like you can print on a wood, or you can print on a metal, on different type of acrylic. So there is a lot of features you can print on this media. Yeah, these machines are really heavy duty and important for if you're looking for a bigger size, bigger than 1.6 meters, because most of our other signage machine, if you're speaking about signage now, specifically, or most of our signage machine, we cover only 1.6 meters, which is 64 inch in the range. And in the signage range, our V7000 will be the biggest now and the biggest size and highest productivity, and I would say the thickest media available, because in our other range, we can print up to 1,300, approximately 1,300 GSM. But this one, of course, is move us to another place of printing.
I think
So hopefully I answered his question.
There's one more question that he has. He just posted, which says that do you have a LaserJet printer as well?
No, to be honest, we are using our core technology, which is the inkjet machine, and we believe this is a future of printing because of the wide range of application that we cover with this inkjet technology. We're using our micro piezo inkjet. All of them digital, because I can see another question from Mr. Mikan that about is it an offset or digital? All our machine are a digital machine using micro piezo, our core technology, but of course on different printhead, different layout, as you saw maybe in the presentation, to serve different type of applications and activities.
Fantastic. There's one more question from Nabil.
Yep.
It's about the UV flatbed.
No, it will have only one set of ink, which is I mentioned in the presentation. So we have 10 colors of ink, but including, of course, the white color, that you can print on different surface like a glass, because having the white, we consider the glass as transparent, and the tiles and metal also you can print, of course, using the same set of inks that we have it in the machine. And we have also the varnish, which is adding a different, of course, more resistance, as I mentioned, like when it's coming to a scratch resistance or finishing, gloss finish, some special application. So we have only this current set. There's no plan now to launch any other ink set for other application on this application.
All right. So thank you so much for that, Shihab. It was wonderful to have you, make the presentation here on the platform. And because we've got another webinar coming up at 3 p.m., so we just got a couple of
Yes.
minutes. Yeah. So wish
Thank you
you all
very
the
much.
very best. Thank you, and wish you all the very best. And hope you have a great SGI 2021.
Thank
Thank
you. I
you.
have to
Thank you.
thanks to all the people that
Thanks to
attend
all the
the
participants. Yeah,
presentation.
absolutely.
And thank you very much. And wish you good luck on the rest of the show. And
Thank you so
hopefully we
much.
see you face to face next year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wish you all
Thank
the
you very
best to
much.
everyone on this platform. Take care. Have a great
Thank you
day.
very much. Thanks
Bye.
a lot.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.